Knicks family, what's popping with you? Hopefully, you're about to have a good weekend. I expect to have a good weekend. I want you to have a good weekend. We're going to kick it off by talking some Knicks. Knicks don't play tonight. They play tomorrow. And we're going to talk about some stuff, man. A lot of stuff going on in New York. The Knicks are in the news for all the wrong reasons. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that the Knicks are in the news for, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start off with the Marcus Morris trade rumors and some other stuff that has to deal with Marcus Morris. So Marcus Morris is in the news. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get this thing cracking.
That's the G.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks are in the news, but it's not the right stuff, not the right reason. A lot of stuff going on around the New York Knicks this week, but it's not the stuff we want it to be about. It's not about winning basketball. It's about drama and craziness. Anyway, let's start off with none other than Marcus Morris. You guys remember what Marcus Morris said after the Memphis Grizzlies game about Jay Crowder. Said he was woman-like, said he had female tendencies. Well, and you know that Marcus Morris, after he made his comments, apologized and said that he did not mean to offend women or anything of that nature, and that he loves and respects women. Nonetheless, as expected, the media jumped on it, right? Other athletes, star athletes, women athletes jumped on it. Jay Crowder put his 2 or 3 cents in, whatever you want to say. Called Marcus Morris out. Now, Marcus Morris, to his credit, you know, he he apologized, right? And even when, you know, a few people, women, said something directly to Marcus Morris, he apologized to them as well, didn't take offense. You know, he said that he understands that he shouldn't have said those words, and, you know, he didn't mean to disrespect anyone. Let's hear from Marcus Morris. Let's hear what Marcus Morris has to say about the situation. Marcus Morris spoke today from practice. The Knicks today did not make the players available. They only made Marcus Morris and Frank Ntilikina available today to speak after practice. Why? I don't know. It's just so much. It's been a crazy week for the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. A crazy week. And we'll talk about it all. We're going to talk about a lot of it here, but we'll talk about it all on Knicks Weekly on Monday. So make sure you join me on Sportscaster, exclusively on Sportscaster. Make sure that you join me. But tonight, we're going to talk about some current stuff that happened over the last few days. I'll give you a chance to call in, 516-452-46. Of course, those who usually join me in the whereby, feel free to jump into the whereby. All right, so we could talk about it. But right now, we're going to listen to Marcus Morris talk about whatever the situations are. Let's take a listen to Marcus Morris, ladies and gentlemen, speaking today from practice.
First, to start off, just apologizing deeply. My comments were, unnecessary. I wasn't even thinking when I was talking. We have women referees, women coaches. I'm a huge supporter of the WNBA. I have a relationship with, a few female players in the WNBA, and if I offended any of them, I deeply, deeply apologize. And I had a time to, sit and reflect on my words. And, it's just unprofessional of me, man, to even, refer to any of that, in any terms of, downgrade, even, feeling as though that I can't even mention a woman's name or anything about women, referring to the game of basketball that they put their heart into and coaching, just life in general, man. And, I'm deeply sorry and I deeply apologize.
There you go. And I hope that puts an end to it. I mean, honestly, I don't think when he said it that he was meaning to disparage women in any way. You know, let's put it like this. I know many of you.
I'm Lynn Slater.
I'm sorry about that. I know many of you out there have called another guy a B, probably on more than one occasion. Well, and probably many of the media outlet writers and those guys have said the same exact thing. Well, if you call a guy a B, you're saying the same thing that Marcus Morris said in that interview about Jay Crowder. All right? Listen, in this day and age, especially, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna. But with everything going on, hashtag girl dad and all of that, it wasn't the right thing to say. It wasn't the right thing to say. Right? But I don't like when, you see people saying all this stuff about, him and putting him in a light that he probably doesn't deserve to be in. He apologized. He owned up to it. Let's move on from it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying about it. Let's move on from it. Okay? And, there's a lot of women that I spoke to that are like, look, let's just move on from it. Listen, in the interview, he probably just wanted to call him a B. And he tried to skirt his way around calling him a B. And then he got himself in even more trouble. So next time, just call him that, bro. All right. James Sanchez, he said, do you think his comments hurt his trade value? No, I don't. Especially with the way that he responded. I don't think it hurt his trade value at all. He responded like an adult, right? What can you say? He responded like an adult. He stood up. He admitted that he was wrong. Said he won't do it again. I think he said he won't do it again. Let people know that, hey, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have said it. I regret saying it. I think teams will look at that and say, all right, you know what? People make mistakes, and we respect what he did. We respect what he said. You know what I mean? So, Dark Matter, I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying, and I think a lot of the guys in the chat know what you're saying. But some women may look at it as being disrespectful, and you got to respect that. Okay? I spoke with a few people about the situation. I've had some people say, yeah, it does offend me because, why does it, have to be a negative connotation to have, female tendencies. And some people said, no, it doesn't really offend me. If a dude is soft, he's soft. And I'm talking about women who said that. You know what I'm saying? If a dude is soft, he's soft. Guillermo, I agree with you. Guillermo. I do. You know what I'm saying? But, understanding the way the world is today, he apologized. He apologized. And if any woman, he apologized to any woman who was offended. So, I think that's it. I don't even want to go any further with it. You know what I'm saying? You can look on Twitter. I had some reactions on Twitter, where I just kind of typed it out. You know what I mean? What I thought about it, and I think that's it. You know what I mean? So, does it hurt his trade value? Nah, doesn't hurt his trade value. Not in my opinion. Now, talking about his trade value, well, is there even going to be a trade? D Pleasy, yes, women's supposed to be soft. Exactly. That's the point that I made on Twitter, right? A man wants a woman to be soft. Most women do not want a man to be soft. So, there you go. But anyway, let's talk about, you asked about his trade value. Let's talk about that, because what it seems like, and this is from Ian Begley, ladies and gentlemen, and you probably already read it or whatever, that Marcus Morris and the New York Knicks, when we're talking about trade rumors, well, let me read it to you straight from Ian Begley. Teams in touch with the Knicks recently came away with the impression that the New York Knicks and Marcus Morris have strong mutual interest in reaching free agent agreement this summer, which factors into a Morris trade. Take from it what you want. Some people are saying that the Knicks are just playing games, right? And they want, teams like the Clippers and whoever else to think that they do not want to trade Marcus Morris. Some people are saying they're serious. We're not going to know until, obviously, the trade deadline comes around and passes or whatever it is. The trade deadline is just 6 days away. All right. And I'm going to read this to you so you hear what I'm saying. All right. The Knicks. And this is through Ian Begley from SNY TV. The Knicks are probably going to get a lot of calls from teams interested in Marcus Morris between now and next Thursday's NBA trade deadline. You would expect them to listen to any offers on Marcus Morris because that's what any team would do in this situation. But it's worth noting that at least one team in touch with the Knicks recently was left with the impression that Morris and New York have strong mutual interest in reaching an agreement in free agency this summer, per SNY sources. That perceived mutual interest is relevant for several reasons. In terms of the trade deadline, teams interested in Morris will probably be less likely to make a significant offer to New York since the chances of that team re-signing him are diminished. A few months ago, several NBA teams or NBA executives speculated that Morris could land a late first-round pick in a trade. There's no reason to believe Morris's trade value has slipped since then. That answers your question. He's averaging 19 points per game, shooting 44% from beyond the arc. He seems like the kind of player who can add depth to a contending team. The Los Angeles Lakers are among the teams that have registered interest in Morris recently, sources say. Because Morris is on a one-year contract and the Knicks are a rebuilding team, there's a sentiment from some fans on social media, such as us, that New York should trade Morris in exchange for that first-round pick. The argument is sound. Acquiring a first-round pick for a player entering free agency is logical. But there are other factors at play. One, the Knicks would likely have to take on future salary if they trade Morris, who is making $15 million this season. The New York Post reported that that New York doesn't want to impact its future cap space in the Morris trade. That's one thing right there, ladies and gentlemen. I've talked about that time and time again. That on just about any trade for Marcus Morris, the Knicks are going to have to take back salary, and they do not want to take back salary. All right, so that's one thing right there. That's one thing that's impacting anything that has to do with trades. Three things are impacting that, ladies and gentlemen. Impacting trades. The Knicks don't want to take back salary. The Knicks are not willing to move a first-round pick, and the Knicks are not willing to give up a young player that they value. All right, so when we talk about these trades, and everyone has interest in trades and all of this kind of stuff, makes it hard when you have chips and you're not really willing to move those chips. And I'm not blaming them for not. Listen, my stance. I don't really want the Knicks to do anything. I don't want this regime to do anything. I want this regime to chill, stand still. You know what I'm saying? And if when a new regime comes in, let them start from the ground up. That's where I want to see. I don't want to see them make moves that could. I just want to see them chill. That's it. That's it. And the reason why I said, and I know people say, well, move Marcus Morris, you get a first-round pick. Move this guy, you get a second-round pick, right? And so now you got something with the new regime to build on. The reason why I'm a little bit indifferent to it, is because when you bring in a new regime, you don't know what players they're going to value that are on this roster. We can all sit here and say none of them. We can all sit here and say 2 of them. A regime comes in and they say, I like this guy. I want to keep this guy. That's that regime. You know what I'm saying? Jerry West, he's doing what he does with the Clippers. They're interested in Marcus Morris. You know what I mean? Just saying. That's the reason why I would be still. But anyway, still, for the Knicks, the idea of acquiring an asset in exchange for a player you may not re-sign makes sense. And it does. But if New York intends to re-sign Marcus Morris, it can use the non-bird exception to sign him to a deal that starts at $18 million and is as long as 4 years. The Knicks can expect the cap to re-sign, can exceed the cap to re-sign Morris because of his non-bird exception. Now, that's one thing. Given the situation that we're in, I do not want to exceed the cap. There's no reason to exceed the cap. Doesn't make sense to exceed the cap. But it's mostly a moot point because Morris's cap hold for the summer of 2020 would be $18 million. All right, so that's his cap hold for 2020, $18 million. They probably wouldn't have to exceed the cap. While I understand the sentiment of those who say the Knicks have to trade Morris, there is a counter argument to consider. This is Ian Begley speaking now. As SNY reported in early January, there are a number of members of the organization who see Morris as an important part of a Knicks rebuild. They've been impressed by his play and his influence on the younger Knicks, which included calling a players-only meeting the morning of David Fizdale's firing. In early January, Morris said that he would have interest in re-signing with the Knicks. That was the reason why I made the decision to come here, said Marcus Morris. Going back on the decisions I made along with a lot of other things. I'm here and I enjoy this organization. I enjoy the players. They got here and I want to be here long term. So we'll see, man. There's another factor to consider with Morris and the Knicks, the market. Morris is a veteran who seems unshaken by the added scrutiny that comes with playing in New York. Team president Steve Mills has said in the past that the Knicks have factored in a player's ability to handle New York, so to speak, in personnel decisions. I'm not going to pretend that I know Marcus Morris well. This is Ian Begley speaking, saying he's not going to pretend he knows Marcus Morris. But he seems like the kind of player that isn't rattled by the increased attention through media and social media that comes with playing in New York. As Mills noted in the past, that's an attribute that the franchise values, and it makes sense. It doesn't seem like every player has the mentality to block out any outside media or fan noise that comes with the Knicks struggle. So, who knows who knows? You know what I mean? But right now, according to Ian Begley, there are sources of people who have spoken with the team recently that say the Knicks and Marcus Morris have mutual interest this summer. Mutual interest of signing a contract. So we'll see what happens there, and we'll see where that goes. I got my man Guillermo in the chat, so pull Guillermo up here. Guillermo, what's popping with you, brother?
Recovering from some surgery I did on my tooth, so my face looks all puffed up. So hope nobody don't think I'm sick or something like that. I can't do anything athletic for the next week, so I'm kind of screwed just sitting here getting fat, watching all this news on my soccer teams and everything. But
what kind of surgery?
So it's a long story. So I had a root canal. They had to take it out because it's a long story. I don't have enough bone to hold it in, so they had to take it out. And when they were trying to close it up to see how it heals and everything, it got infected. So I had a really bad sinus infection. That's why at the Knicks game I was telling you I was feeling sick.
Yeah.
And so they had to take that out and they tried to. I went to a new person out and they're reclosing it and everything. So now it's just puffed up on the right side. But
so you're not gonna start drooling on the set or nothing like that, right?
Nah. That was the first day, man. I woke up just blood everywhere. I'm like, oh Lord, it was like the wisdom teeth thing, but
Yeah, because
I'm good,
sometimes
man.
you go to the
drooling on set.
dentist and they give you these needles and your lip feels like it's real big and you can barely talk and all of that.
It was the crazy thing is that it felt bad the first day just because you have to have that gauze in your mouth to hold so the bleeding and everything. The second day, Thursday, my face was puffed, like it looked disgusting. So I mean, I'm grateful now. It's healing nicely, but the only thing that sucks is like I only can eat like yogurt and pudding. And then I asked my doctor, I was like, yo, doc, please, can I just drink soup or something like that for lunch? And he was like, yeah, you could drink soup, you good. But it's like you don't want to really get anything on that side, like any grains or anything, right? So I kind of snuck and got grits coming back. I don't know why I got grits. And like,
oh my gosh. Wait a minute, hold on. I just want to say, wait a minute. You're not supposed to get any grains.
No, well, sorry,
so you get like grits that have like the smallest,
like that, right? But grits,
so
I was eating on one side of the mouth, right? And like I was able to digest it, and then I licked on the other side of my mouth on the bottom, and I felt like I was like, oh crap! So I just went out, washed my mouth, and Sim, it is you can't eat anything. Like I'm dying, man.
I've been there. I know. I've been there. I have been there. I know.
But I didn't go crazy, so I'm just sticking to like applesauce. I mean, applesauce has, it washes away quickly.
I know, but I'm just saying, like grits are the smallest grains and the hardest to control. I mean, if anything, you chose grits. That's what just.
And I'm gonna be out for Super Bowl, man. And thank God it said don't eat anything hot for 3 days, and I got my surgery on Wednesday. So Wednesday, full day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever. So I cannot not eat. I thank God that I did it on Wednesday, but yeah, this thing is killing me, man.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, I know. So what do you think, man? Not even about the woman thing with Marcus Morris. I think it was blown so far out of proportion, in my opinion. But
I'm gonna send you some funny things, Tim. It was a Instagram thing with like these two idiots, Quentin Richardson and the dude that used to be on the Clippers. He's on like he's on all these shows now. Glasses. I can't remember his name. But yeah, it was fun. How they're trying to make this like a whole thing, and like it's not really even gaining traction. But
he didn't even mean it. He was not trying to be disrespectful towards women.
But this, okay, this is the only thing I'll say about it, and I'll be very quick about it. If there aren't female tendencies, tell me why Love and Hip Hop and all these reality TV shows do very well with women, and why you don't see male. There's nothing bad about having female tendencies with women. There's nothing bad about male tendencies. We need to start complimenting each other instead of trying to be like each other, because it ain't work, because no one's watching WNBA. But anyway, back to the Morris thing.
Yeah.
The Morris thing, it's I don't know. I kind of want to say I'm disappointed in how the Knicks handled the situation, because honest to God, you gotta, as a team that's, whenever you usually see a team that's like kind of not doing well, right? But they have like one or two players, or maybe just say one player that's really good. And that player is trade bait, right? You're supposed to fashion that player. The player was Caron Butler, not Darius Miles. Sorry, Caron Butler. But yeah, you're supposed to fashion the player. So he's trade bait. So he looks tradable. Like, yeah, we're not really trying. It is what it is. We're kind of just being the feeder team. We're gonna sell these assets to other teams, blah blah. And it seems like the Knicks were always giving fillers that they wanted to re-sign this guy. Because it's not the first time I heard that they wanted to keep Morris. And we've talked about this probably months ago, Sim, where it was like they were giving fillers the Knicks might want to. And you're not supposed to let that out to the market. You're supposed to try to get as many assets as you can. And if you and Morris have that situation, and I think Morris is that type of guy, he wants to come back to New York because, one, I guess the city fits him, or the allure, or the whole mantra of tough New York, or whatever the hell that means now, even though it's mostly gentrified now. But anyway, he fits that, and he sees a bunch of young players that he thinks he can work with. And I have no problem with that. But guys, we are supposed to be getting assets for him. Yes, if he wants to come back, just shut up, act like, all right, look, give the feelers out. Hey, blah, blah. You, Marcus Morris, help us out. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this supposed to be something between him, his agent, and the front office to be like, hey, look, we want to sell this guy. We want to bring him back, but hey, let's just try to get some assets for him. Sweetheart deal, wink, wink. We'll get him back here next year. Just let's get some assets for him. And it just seems like the Knicks dropped the ball on it. It feels like that to me. I don't know.
I mean, it hasn't happened.
It's weird.
It hasn't happened yet.
Tell me some of the Clippers sorry to cut you off. You can't tell me that the Clippers, the Lakers, two teams are literally trying to destroy each other to win that West and possibly win a championship. Aren't they don't need a tertiary score, especially the Clippers, where Kawhi and PG, and they're talking about chemistry issues now and blah blah. Marcus Morris is the type of guy who'll play the defense, he'll hit the threes, he'll space out, he'll hit the mid range. He'd be perfect for that team. You told me nothing could have happened with those, and I know they traded so many first round picks, but
yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll say to that is I personally don't feel that if the Knicks really want to keep him, I don't feel that he's going to be like, yeah, trade me. I'll go play there for a couple months for a good team, for the Lakers, for the Clippers for a couple months, and then come back. I don't think that's really. Can it happen? Yes, it can. I just don't think it's plausible that it would happen. Would it?
I'm sorry. Say it against him. That plausible that he would not go over to those teams.
I don't think that. Could it happen like legally? I guess by the CBA. I guess yes, it can. But I don't think that he would be like, yeah, go ahead, trade me. I'm gonna go over there and stay in a hotel for a couple months, play, and then I'm gonna come back to the Knicks. After maybe I've won a championship or contended for a championship. If they have mutual interest in the Knicks, I'm saying if the Knicks really, really want him, that's what I'm saying, right? If they really, really want him, I think they would fear that if he goes to the Lakers or the Clippers, he's staying. You know what I'm saying?
This is what I say about that situation, though, right? Because remember, this summer, his agent or his former agent, Rich Paul, messed up that deal with the Clippers, right? And you think that he wants to go and play long-term with a guy like LeBron? Now, I think he'll do it half season, especially if he's like, hey, guy, if the Knicks are like, hey, we need you to sell you off and to get assets for you. We want to re-sign you here next year. You got our word, blah, 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 even though we can't, whatever. Under whatever secret channels that these guys actually do all this stuff under, or a lot of stuff under. I don't think that he would have said, oh, I'll resign with the Lakers, because he's the type of guy, I can see him barking on LeBron James. He's not the type of guy like that. He's rah, and playing the bottle game on the sideline with LeBron James. He don't like that corny stuff. So if they traded him, he'd be like, look, I know I'm a mercenary, but I'm going back to not to say he would say it out loud, but I think that, he would feel that way. I just feel like we dropped the ball that where we're falling in love. We're falling in love with a guy. Again, like I said, right guy for the Knicks, wrong time. This is a guy that he's one of the pieces, and you could build with him still too, I guess, next year as long as he's healthy and stuff. But we're falling in love with a guy who's producing on a team that's losing and falling apart at the seams from top to bottom. You know what I mean? This is not a guy that he's won us. All of a sudden, Knicks are, 30 and something, or, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, crap, the Knicks are surprising to do well because Marcus Morris. It's like, nah. So it's like you have to be playing with kitty gloves and make sure don't get him mad. It's like, dude, this is a business. And yes, you are a valuable player. We respect you. If you want to come back here next year, we got you, but we need assets. And if he can't understand, he can't understand, man. It's just, that's the nature of the business, man. We're going to fall in love with a guy who also had a neck issues. So I mean, what we're gonna re-sign him, and because yeah, man, we like how he does with the players, and it's like we're not winning, and he was hurt.
Well, you know what I mean? let me ask you this though: how many wins do you think we would have if we didn't have Marcus Morris?
Oh yeah, we have less wins.
I mean, how many less? Because when you talk about
we probably have
because people have like people say
half the. I'm sorry, to cut you off. You know how it doesn't think, but I think we have half the wins that we have now. I can easily say that.
And we don't have a lot of wins, but
that's the whole point.
But that's saying that maybe he's a guy that could be worth getting you 6 wins.
But see, this is why I say 6. I know the point you're trying to say, and I agree with you to an extent. But I think the reason why we also don't have so many wins, obviously, it's not just because of just the terrible front office composition. And,
of course,
and how we put the team. So it's like I might get on Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris, dude, the dude's shooting 47% from 3. Like I like Marcus Morris a lot, dude. Like he's the right guy for the Knicks at the wrong time. It's just what I'm gonna say that in terms of wins is that we're not winning by. He hasn't been a game changer where, all right, we're on pace to go to playoffs, and so you can't get rid of him because if you do, our playoff run is done. That's what I meant to say. Not to say that he's not giving us.
I understand that, but I mean, I do think is something to say for him being part of the that could be part of a culture change. Obviously, it needs to come from the top down. We get that and understand that, right?
Well, was that if you saw from the fight last game? I guess that culture change thing is not It's not so sound,
listen. You know what you're gonna get with him, right? You know what he's gonna bring. But
fighting text.
I mean, you know what he's gonna bring, but there's gonna be something about, like, for example, even with the whole thing, and then what he said with the women. He gets. I'm assuming, from what I know, before the Knicks was able to say anything to him, he's like, "Bam, my mother called me." And but his mom called him, was like, his mother called him and said, "Listen, I know who you are. Thank you for apologizing." Mom talk, right? Right. Because he's like, because he stood up and then even when some other women addressed it, he addressed them directly, like, "I apologize. I didn't mean to say anything. I got utmost respect for women." Blah 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 blah. So it's things like that. That's like you're saying. He seems like the kind of guy that he's gonna make his own choices.
Right.
But any mistakes he's he's gonna live up to them. Like, that's an adult. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I give you that, but I can see it either way.
That this team, we're a team that we need guys to elevate the play and the mindset of players on the team, right? And I understand, look, accountability is a major thing. That's big. So I respect him for that, even though, side note, the fact that women are calling and complaining actually prove his point. But anyway, sorry. The thing about is that on the court, like I said, man, like the thing about the Knicks is that not just a fight, right? We don't play with composure throughout the 4 quarters consistently. Of course, we'll come out first quarter, first half sometimes looking like, up by 15. We can sit back and relax. Not to sit, in theory, if you just watch one game in the Knicks, not a bunch of games, because that we give up leads. But it's like then the rest of the game is like our defense fall apart and guys aren't communicating. And the funniest thing is that on the court, I've seen Taj communicating sometimes more than Marcus Morris. Now, Marcus Morris does communicate during fouls and stuff. He does huddle the guys and speak to them and stuff like that. But it's like, I need to see Marcus Morris being a defensive guy. He has defensive chops. He's a cerebral defensive player. He needs to have these guys lined up. He needs to, hey, Randall, blah, blah, yo, what were you doing that play? Yo, bro, you have to remember to do this, do that. Not saying just Randall. Randall, RJ, Peyton, all these guys, Frank. You know what I mean? So, and it's to keep composure, keep focus. And, I'm hoping to see that. I don't bet on it. But if he wants to take that step to where he's not just a leader where, guys like him, but where guys are changing their game because of his advice and what he says and his on-the-court generalship, that's not a word, whatever, then that's what I got to see, man, because I'm just tired of, like, I don't want another – I know that was your boy, but what's that guy? Not Lance Johnson. What's that guy? Lance Thomas. Where it's like, yeah, he's a good guy, but – he might produce
Marcus Morris is not Lance
but it's not really
Thomas,
producing much on the court in terms of his leadership.
But I don't think Marcus Morris is not Lance Thomas.
No. But what I mean is that it's this ineffectual. No, I'm gonna say ineffectual, but it's this. I like playing with him. He's a good locker room presence, blah blah. But on the court, there's no change. Like, put like this, right? And I was having a conversation in the chat with it wasn't Kareem. I can't remember who it was on Chris Paul, and if Chris Paul's a leader. You know what I mean? And Chris Paul's attitude is surly, right? He's a guy that some people just don't like to play, blah, blah. But his play on the court, in terms of where he gets people and what he teaches these guys, like, you could look at that Clippers team that should not have gone to the playoffs like that, but they were doing it because of Chris Paul. That's leadership. Whether you like him or not, Jimmy Butler, even when he was with the Wolves, and we talked about it, different types of leadership, fits different types. Look what he's doing now with the Bulls. I mean, with the Heat. You know what I mean? So I just want it so that it materializes into wins. That's what I
get it. I get it. But I feel like, if they decided to keep him, because I'm about to get to a couple phone calls, I'm gonna come to light. They decided to keep him, I would understand, because you got to have a building point someplace, somewhere, at some time. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a building point, especially if you don't have it in your young players. And you can't just have it. You got to have more than one player too. So let's say RJ Barrett is one of, a building point, of a guy that can be mentally tough and grow to be that kind of guy. You got to have more than just one. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Either way, I'm not going to be too upset if they did keep him, as long as they don't kill their cap and do something crazy that way. If they trade him, I won't be too upset if they trade him either. I'm saying either way, though, after the trade deadline, I think he needs to take a step back in minutes if he's still on the team to let some of the young guys get out there and get some burn. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
What's going on, son?
What's good with you, bro? How you feeling?
I'm good. What are you still talking about, Morris?
Yeah, we still talk about that for another minute. Then we're gonna move on.
Oh, yeah. But Morris, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It just depends on the contract, I guess, because either way you look at it, it looks like the Knicks are gonna have to take a bad contract at some point. With their rebuild, like if they want to trade people or they want to get rid of some of these guys, what I'm hearing is that the teams are only offering them a bad contract. So, I mean, what I guess it really depends on what's the contract. What is it for me?
Yeah,
It depends on the contract.
Right, and that's one thing there. You know, if they got to take back, if they have to take back salary, I mean, I don't see a point.
Sim, this is what I really wanted to call
unless,
you about.
Well, I'm sorry. Unless, I mean, I guess I could see the point. It would have to be the type of, and that, you know, that I guess that person, if you did take back salary, you know, 2020, I'm assuming, you know, you're not doing much unless they're going to try to make a run at Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram made the All-Star team. The Pelicans ain't giving up on him. They want to put Ingram and Knox together. I can't see the Pelicans letting them go. But I couldn't blame the Knicks for making a run. You know, so if 2020 looks moot to them, then they might be like, you know what, 2020 free agency is basically a wash for us. It's nothing. You know, we can take salary that ends in 2021. You know, we'll see. But from what we understand, they don't want to take back any salary. So
I doubt that any team is going to offer them anything that ends at 2021. You know why? Because at 2021, every team is trying to clear their books also.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying if you have a contract, if any team has a contract that ends in 2021, they might as well keep it and leave that money there for because it's basically just a placeholder for the free agency class that's coming in 2021. So it makes no sense for any team to trade that contract. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I guess they would trade the contract if they're getting a contract that's shorter, then it doesn't hurt them either way. I guess. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry to cut you off. It doesn't make sense because there's nothing in this free agency class either. You know that's what I'm saying. So it
right. But if they just wanted to get Marcus Morris on their team, you know what I'm saying? And the Knicks said,
if it was a team that if they want to make a run now, then yeah, I guess so. But besides that, any other team makes no sense. That's why I also think that the Knicks are not going to make that many moves because they're looking at 2021 and right now, 2020, the free agency class is bad. So I don't see them making any crazy moves that's gonna hinder them for 2021. What they might do is just re-sign some guys. They might tweak the lineup a little bit and keep most of the guys that they have now, and then look at what they're gonna do for 2021.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Okay. We'll see, man. The next thing that I was going to talk about is Dennis Smith Jr. According to Mark Berman, and I didn't get a chance to read it from Mark Berman, so I don't even want to say according to Mark Berman. Reports are that the Knicks, the asking price for Dennis Smith Jr. Is too much, and that, you know, I guess it's probably turning some teams away because the asking price is too much. Where do the Knicks understand the value of their players? Do they understand the value of their players?
This is funny and sad at the same damn time. Because it's funny because it's like other teams. It's funny because the Knicks, you know, they value their players so high. It's funny. It's comical to me because the Knicks can't. They can't develop players. So if the Knicks value him so high, why can't you just develop him your damn self? You got what I'm saying? That's why it's funny. The other teams I bet there's other teams that they have a developmental staff that they believe in that could get him right. But the Knicks, the potential is there, but they just don't have the developmental staff to get him to where he needs to be. So that's like where it's funny and sad at the same time. So they're not gonna get what they want, and then he's gonna go away, and they're gonna build him up, and he's gonna end up probably looking good for another team because that's just how it happens to the Knicks.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they. What do they want? I hope they don't want a first round draft pick for him. Not at this point. I could see if he was averaging 15 points a game this season, right? Then they might be saying, we want a first round draft pick for this guy. The guy's been lost all season long.
What I saw on Twitter, but it's Twitter, so I don't know if this is accurate. They either want a first round pick or they want another young asset, another young player for him, or something along those lines.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they get another young player that a team got in the second round, because that's probably what, I mean, his value is going to be low. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, his value is going to be low.
Exactly. I don't think they get anything more than a second round pick or two.
Yeah.
Maybe just one. But before you let me go, I wanted to ask you, since it's the anniversary of the Porzingis trade, how do you feel about it today?
How do I feel about the Porzingis trade today? I mean, well, as far as having Dennis Smith Jr., that didn't work out. It's not working out right now. As far as DeAndre Jordan, if he was supposed to be a guy that was going to help pull in KD, supposedly, obviously that didn't work. So now I think everything hinges on those two draft picks, right? What happens with those two draft picks? As far as KP being in Dallas, listen, I feel good, and I'm sure who's Mark will hate to hear this. I feel good that we're not paying him $150 million, because I don't think he's going to be worth that money. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to continuously be injured. He's going to have problems with his knees and his legs for his entire career. I think, what's he averaging? 16.9 points per game on 39% shooting this season so far. And I know, it's his first year back from an ACL tear. So, you probably need that year just to get back in shape and those type of things. But even back in shape for the Knicks, what did he shoot? 42% from the field or something like that? 43 maybe? Shot 40% from three. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was reading the report by Tommy Beer where it said Porzingis has been in the league for 5 years and he's played one game in April.
Yeah,
one game in April. One. That says a lot, man. I mean, one time he's played one NBA game in the month of April throughout 5 years in the league. I'm kind of glad that we don't have that contract.
You know why I'm not. You know why I'm not upset. You know why I'm pretty good. I'm straight on it. Well, basically because of that article, right? Because of what he wrote with everything about Porzingis and how I don't think that's a contract you want to be paying. And him, he might not be worth it. Also, we got to look at it like this. All of these dudes are placeholders right now. It's not like we have anybody on a contract we can't get off. But at any moment, we could just get that money right back. That money is still there, essentially.
Right.
So that money is there with the Knicks. So when you look at the trade today, we basically still have the money. We have the 2 draft picks. Now, what the Knicks need to do is they need to take the vets that they feel like they could use moving forward, keep those vets, and the other vets, flip them for draft picks. And then you could say, okay, the Knicks used the Porzingis trade to get those draft picks off of the money that they got from the trade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, right. So if
that's
you flip,
what they should be doing. They should be accumulating the draft picks with those assets, with those placeholders, and then they'll still have the money. they'll have more draft picks. Then they have a couple of vets that'll help guide along the kids. While that's what they need to be doing. And then you sprinkle in some vets, let the kids play. Sprinkle in some vets like the other teams do, and let the kids play. That's what they should be doing.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man. We got, 6 days into the trade deadline. We'll see what happens from now to then and what happens after the trade deadline as well, right? That period of time when players start to get waived and moved and things like that. We'll see, man. Hey, man, I appreciate the call, bro.
All right, no doubt. Let your man Mills know when he calls back.
Yeah, I'll let him know. All right.
All
right, peace. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. The Knicks want too much for Dennis Smith Jr. It doesn't surprise me. I don't think that Dennis Smith Jr. they're not going to get no first-round draft pick for him. You can guarantee that. You can definitely guarantee that. Now, the draft this year supposedly is not supposed to be, that great down at the bottom of the draft and all that kind of stuff. But look, you ain't getting I doubt you're getting a first-round draft pick for Dennis Smith Jr. All right, I doubt it whatsoever. But we'll let the Knicks continue to think what they want to think. We'll let them think what they want to think. RJ Barrett, ladies and gentlemen, he makes the Rising Stars team. Big shout out to RJ Barrett for that. He makes the Rising Stars team. He'll be playing for the world team, obviously representing Canada. I think he deserves it. I think he deserves to be on the Rising Stars team or in the Rising Stars Challenge. I think the bigger question that most people have is Mitch. Was Mitch snubbed? We'll get to that. But we'll get to that in a second. But I want to continue to, just talk about the, RJ Barrett a little bit. Obviously, RJ Barrett is out with an ankle injury. We hope that he's going to be back by the time, February 14th gets here and he can play in that World Cup game. Right? But it's a nice honor for the young man. He's not going to win Rookie of the Year, but for him to make it to the, Rising Stars Challenge is good for him. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see him play in the Rising Stars Challenge. And, good deal for him, man. A big shout out to him for that. Again, RJ Barrett. He's a rookie. Made the world. He made the Rising Stars Challenge. He's playing on the world side, representing Canada. Right? That's RJ Barrett, ladies and gentlemen. But my next question, though, was Mitch snubbed? Last year Mitchell Robinson made the Rising Stars Challenge on the USA side. He did not make it this year. You guys feel like he should have made the Rising Stars Challenge? That's why I want to get to the guys in the chat, find out what you guys think. Light, I'm gonna come to you, Light. Hey, Guillermo, tell Light I'm about to make him live real quick. Light, what's going on, man?
You about to go live for me?
Yeah, you live, bro. What's going on with you, bro?
What's good, man? How you?
I'm good, man. You think Mitch was snubbed from the Rising Stars Challenge or what?
No. I don't. The fan in me, the Knicks fan in me says, yeah, of course. But if I'm being honest, his production wasn't consistent enough. I haven't taken a hard look at other, sophomores that are out there at that position. But in my opinion, what I expected out of Mitch hasn't manifested. Maybe I had higher hopes than I should have, but no, I don't think he got snubbed. I think he needs to work harder. If I can't definitively say, in his second year he deserves to start, then if you don't deserve to start, you don't need to be at the All-Star game.
Okay.
If you can't start for our Knicks team as we're comprised, yeah. you didn't get snubbed. You don't deserve to be there. And he hopefully it lights a fire in him to hone his game some.
Yeah. Mitch Robinson this year is averaging 9.4 points per game, 6.8 rebounds. He's shooting 71.8% from the field. Well, you know, they're all lobs to the basket, right? Everything is, you know, a dunk.
He ain't shot a jump shot yet.
Yeah, right. Everything is a dunk. He's averaging 1.9 blocks per game on 22.9 minutes per game. Guillermo, what do you think, man?
On Mitch?
Yeah.
When did we have expectation? Is Mitch upset or disappointed that he didn't get picked, or is he like disappointed with himself?
I don't know if he's upset or not. I'm just asking the question whether or not, you know, I've seen some people say that they think Mitch was snubbed. Do you think he was snubbed or not? Here's the players that's on the USA team. All right, I'll read off the world team too. But USA, you got Miles Bridges, Wendell Carter Jr., Devontae Graham, Tyler Hero, Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, Kendrick Nunn, Eric Pascal, P.J. Washington, Trae Young, and guess who? Zion Williamson. Exactly right.
4 games, yo.
It's also this all-star crap is also a popular contest. It's like what name is it's flawed. Like to me, Mitch, don't worry about an all-star game. Worry about how many jump shots you've taken this whole season. Like
I mean I don't know if Mitch was concerned about it. It's just other people.
I know. I'm just talking. For
the world team, for the world team, you got Nickeil Alexander-Walker, DeAndre Ayton, RJ Barrett, Brandon Clark, Luka Doncic. You got Shai Alexander, Rui Hachimura.
Wait, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, that's the dude from the Pelicans, right?
I think so.
Oh yeah, that's that dude.
You got Svi. I can't even say his last name. You got Josh Okogie and Moritz.
Hold on. No. Let's try to get Sim to say his name. My Haliuk.
Well, when you can say it, then you can teach me how to say it.
At least I tried.
All right,
I gotta get on Sim because he got on Isaiah when Isaiah couldn't say. Damn, who was it? Manute Bol. And Isaiah kept saying Boa.
Nah, it was Boa.
Oh, Boa. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he kept saying Boa.
Yeah, and Sim over here, he don't even try to say the names anymore. So we gotta get on Sim for that, man.
I'm just saying, his last name got 26 letters in it. Right?
That name is rough, man. That's that old USSR name, man.
Bo is like
backwards R in there.
Yeah, it's like I got them. Yeah, that name is rough, man. Parents.
Yeah, that's a rough one right there.
But I mean, look, does Mitch deserve to be on that? Because the American side had who, or the U.S. side had who?
Again, the U.S. side at center, I guess Wendell Carter Jr. is their center. I'll read them off again. Miles Bridges, Wendell Carter Jr. I see an asterisk next to him, injured. So I guess Zion Williamson is going to be in for Wendell Carter Jr. You got Devontae Graham, Tyler Hero, Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, Kendrick Nunn, Eric Pascal, P.J. Washington, Trae Young, and Zion.
First off, Zion don't need to be up there.
He should not.
That needs to be stricken from the record. You ain't played enough games. I'm sorry. That there shouldn't even be. There should be a rule against that. Like I thought you had to play a certain number of games to qualify for that kind of stuff. So I don't even understand how he's on there.
Honestly, guys, if I was Zion, I would sit this out and try to heal up because, like, honestly, I just feel like he's like a circus attraction, man. Like they just want to see the dunks and he has to make sure that his meniscus or whatever it was is properly healed and work on his game. But to me, man, should Mitch be up here? Probably.
No.
But in terms of Wendell, but you have a bunch of power forwards. Like Wendell Carter, does he play center or is he? I can't really call it because I thought Wendell Carter was more of a power forward, but I take it back if he's a center. I apologize.
Well, I mean, the thing that gets me though, listen, does Mitch deserve to be up there? Probably not, right? But what gets me, and obviously we know the reason why, it's all politics, it's all money. But if Wendell Carter Jr. is injured, and to replace him, you replace him with Zion, who's played 4 games. How many games has Zion played? 4, really? I mean, Come on, man. That's.
I mean, like I said, some things you just got to take as motivation. I mean, there's a lot of guys who've been snubbed for this accolade that deserve to be there, and a lot of, from the all-stars to the rookies, all of that stuff. So Mitch need to see that, and I hope it matters to him. I hope he's upset about it. I hope he look over at it and he's like, yo, RJ, why they put your boy in there and ain't put me in there? I hope he's mad, because these guys, our guys need a battery in their back, man. And that's the truth. So hopefully this is a wake-up call to him that you're not playing well enough to get people to take notice of what your capabilities are. Right.
And listen, guys, people in the YouTube chat, they're like, yo, Zion is there for the views. We understand that. We get that, right? I'm just saying, if you're gonna put Zion there for views, just make an extra person and put Zion there. I mean,
put him in the dunk contest.
Listen, Zion could have had one leg, and they probably would have tried to have him there somehow. You know what I'm saying? For a halftime show or something. I don't know. Right? I mean, we get that Zion was gonna be there, no matter what. Didn't matter what, Zion was gonna be there. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, hey, like you said, yeah, use it as motivation, man. To try to use it as motivation. You know what I mean?
He needs to motivate himself to shoot, bro. Because I'm kind of getting pissed now. Where I just want to see it develop. It's like, guys, you guys are losing anyway. Mm-hmm. You might as well work on your weaknesses this year. The stuff you should have been doing last year. Yeah, man. Might as well work on your weaknesses now. Get them out the way so you're in game time situation. So because I literally could see this guy taking, I don't want to say step backs, but not step backs. Excuse me. I was gonna say fade away, but the way he shoots, I could see him developing that little Kevin Garnett shot at the top, not the top of the key, but like near the elbow, hitting those shots. Like I could see him doing it consistent because he already has a nice form for his free throws. So it just is. I don't know, man. I want to see some damn development from some of these players, man. I want to see him take the next step. I wish DJ was still here because I feel like when DJ was here, Mitch looked like a way better defensive player. And that's scary to say because he's already a decent defensive player that you saw with potential. You started to see him commit less fouls, that stuff. I want to see him take the next step in terms of offense because if he can score, that opens up our offense a lot more. We don't have to force ourselves to do the dribble handoffs, where we get a lot of turnovers. And we get a lot of turnovers because we do the dribble handoffs. The team sees it. They expect it. They play us hard on a transfer, and we get very lazy. Some of our pass, especially Frank, very lazy passes to Mitch, and then it's the right back. Mitch needs to become a threat on offense. I don't know what it is. They talk about him shooting, blah, blah. They need to have a team mandate where it's like, yo, bruh, we're running this set for you. Your center is 100 feet away from you. Shoot that damn shot. We'll go and rebound the ball for you, but we need you to shoot that damn shot. We don't care if it goes out of bounds. We don't care if it's an air ball. We don't care if it's a brick in Swahili. We don't care where the hell it is, bro. You need to shoot. We need to get you. And who? I don't know. I don't know if players are doing that. I just hope that maybe Morris or somebody does that to him soon enough because this is absurd, man.
Yeah. And well, we'll see, man. For those, I seen somebody say something about Trae Young not being in there. And Trae Young's not in there because he made the All-Star team. Mm-hmm. So that's why he's not going to be in a Rising Stars
Trae Young's on the big boy team, bro.
Yeah, right. He's on the varsity squad. You know what I mean? Right. So so he's not going to be in there. Do you think RJ's going to play?
Nah, I don't want him to.
Nah, he's not going to play. RJ's I think he's healing up. I don't think he's trying to force himself to.
Nah, this being the first injury he's ever had too, I think he's going to take as much time as he can to make sure he's 100 before he do anything else.
Yeah, I hope so. We do have an update on Frank and RJ Barrett. Just a little update from Frank and RJ Barrett from your boy Mike Miller. You know what I mean?
Frank's phantom injury.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys? I mean, what do you guys feel? Do you think he was really injured, or you think it's just the business of it?
I firmly believe it was the business.
Yeah, it seems like the business of it, man. He's not hurt.
Yeah. Probably
But
not.
do you still think he's gonna be traded, Sim? Is that your?
I mean, I don't know if he's. I don't know. I don't know if I thought he was going to be traded. You know, my thought process behind it was, you know, maybe they were in talks with someone and they felt like they were close to making a deal, and that team is like, can you hold Frank out from playing until we get this deal done? That was my thought process. Maybe they, you know, whoever they were talking to, right? Hey, this deal is close. I don't want him getting hurt before we finish this deal, so don't play him. So I don't know.
It seems weird to do that and then say that he's hurt. To me, if that was the case, they could have just DNP'd him. Like the Knicks have never been shy about we just didn't play him.
That's true. They could have, right? That's true. They could have did that too, just not played him. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out more. Let's take a listen to Coach Mike Miller as he talks about these injuries.
What's the impact now? How do you move forward
after Alfred? Well, we have to move forward, and that's what we do. I think as a team is just like in our everyday life. Things happen, and you have to deal with it, and you have to move forward, and you want to be better every day. That's our goal every day. I've said that multiple occasions, and that doesn't change. We're trying to get better today in everything that we do.
And with Frank now, and just he'll get more playing time, obviously.
Yeah, we're waiting. Update on Frank is he's feeling better, and I believe we're listing as probable right now. So hopefully he feels even better tomorrow, and he'll be ready to go.
If he can't go, other than Dennis, what do you do with the point guard spot in this moment?
Well, we have the option, with two-way player Kadeem. So that we have that option as well.
What's the plan with RJ with the rising stars? Will he play in that game?
RJ's getting better. He's progressing. He's not to the point where he's practicing yet, but he's doing some workouts on his own. So the progression would be, we get to the point where hopefully he could practice next week maybe, and then that would put him on track where, potentially he would be ready to play after he gets some practice. So he's on a path where, that looks promising.
Mike, between now and February 6th, obviously with the deadline coming, does it change your thinking at all in terms of how you put a rotation together, and more of an emphasis on veterans? How does that play a role, if any, in your thinking?
Well, it's really, we have stayed with the same philosophy. Is just the game will dictate, how we use the guys in the rotations, and you've seen, the game the other night. We got to the fourth quarter, and we got Wayne out there. We needed Wayne, so we've kind of stayed with that, and that's been our approach.
I guess the flip side to that is, do you expect once the trade deadline is gone that those expectations change and there's more of an emphasis on your younger players at that point?
Well, at this point, we're moving forward as we have. So, not getting too far ahead of ourselves and just dealing with today. I think that's been a good approach with our group. We deal with today, and can we improve today? And I think that's manageable for all of us, to keep that approach to it.
Mike, a little different. Put out a statement saying about Marcus's comments, saying that doesn't condemn what he said, but he believes the apology was sincere. As a coach, how do you handle that situation? Or do you?
I'm not sure what you're asking me. You said that I didn't hear it.
The apology from did you see Marcus's apology, and then did you see the statement from the team?
I have not.
Okay.
So.
Were you aware of his comments?
Yes.
So do you, as a coach, do you even address that, or do you just let it?
Address it
with him or with the organization?
I think he has made his statement. I think the team made their statement, and I think it's sincere. I think there's no question that organizationally and individually, these are high quality guys that are here and in this organization, and the respect that we have as we've talked about, for our fan base, for the WNBA, for females, for everything. We have female officials. We have so many people. We have females on our staff that are very valuable. So I think there's a high level of respect across the board there.
What goes wrong when you guys have had quite a few games like the other night where the margin really got out of hand, and it seems like there's enough talent here that when you took over, the games are competitive, and it's kind of gotten away a little bit from time to time. What has to go wrong to for it to be that bad?
Well, the Memphis game, they hit 3 threes in about a minute. It was a 10, 12-point game all the way. We missed a 3 at, I don't know what the time was exactly. It was right in front of our bench. We hit a transition open 3, missed it. That would have taken the game to 9. And we had a couple of free throws in there. It could have got to 6 or 7. So the game's right there. We had to come back, and then they hit 3 threes, and that just changed the game. That was the difference. It was basically, the game was in the balance with 2 minutes to play. It was being decided in the last 2 minutes. That's what you try to get to. And we'd like to be the team that hits 3 threes in a row and changes the game. And sometimes we have been, and we will be again. But that was the story in the Memphis game, and it can turn that quickly, as you know. We didn't score, they came down, hit a 3. We didn't score, they came down, they hit a 3. That's how quick it changes. It went from the game was whatever it was at 10 or 12, and it went to 16, 18 that fast.
Is that where some of the frustration comes in from a guy like Elfrid, where you guys have had a bunch of games like that where it could have been gone your way, and
Elfrid, we've got guys that are passionate. They're passionate about the game. They're passionate about the Knicks. They feel the value of playing in Madison Square Garden, and the whole thing's, they're passionate. Sometimes, that passion comes out, and what our focus, how do we channel that passion into positives for 48 minutes? And I think that's probably what every team in the league is doing, is how do we channel, the best version of ourselves into a 48-minute game.
And of course, you hear Mike Miller, kind of referring to what happened at the end of that Memphis Grizzlies game, but I don't know how much, he said the game was in the balance. I don't know how much the game was actually in the balance, but anyway, about, Frank and RJ, Frank Ntilikina, listen, Elfrid Payton can't play because he was suspended, going back to that Memphis Grizzlies game, he's suspended. You can bring up Kadeem Allen, but I'd like to see Frank play if he's healthy enough. I'd like to see Frank play. Want to see Frank get back out there on the floor. As far as RJ Barrett, says he's going to be back working next week, back in practice next week. And, maybe, I don't know if he'll get a chance to play next week, but he could possibly be ready for the All-Star game. We'll see if they really want him to play, if they allow him to play. That'll be, we'll see. We will see, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. What was you about to say, Guillermo?
Oh, no. I was just laughing at one of Light made a joke on one of Mike Miller's comments, but the person I actually want to see is Lamar Peters, man. The G League. Not saying he's going to be a game changer, but look, if Frank is truly being traded, if Frank is going to be traded or whatever, right? I'd like to see Lamar Peters play, man. To get a shot. He probably will in the second half, but right now we're depleted in terms of our point guards right now. Kadeem Allen is, he is what he is. I don't know. I just want to see a new element. And when he talked about getting back, the guys in the 3 and we couldn't make a shot, I wish he could expound. I wish somebody could ask him as to, like, I don't remember that sequence in the game, but I remember complaining about the fact that many times our offense gets stagnant when we see other teams come back, and not stagnant in the sense of we're not scoring, but what we do, taking shots early in the shot clock. This ISO hero ball stuff. We don't move the ball around a lot anymore. It's like we lose confidence in what got us to the dance and what got us that 15-point lead. And it's like I want to see, these reporters kind of suck sometimes, but I would love to see somebody ask him, why you guys go away from that. Why is it become this ISO game, and it kind of feeds into you guys getting into trouble, stuff like that. So,
yeah.
And also the perimeter defense too. It's like there's no. It's one thing if a bunch of guys are getting, fast break buckets, right? It sucks. Fast breaks, 2-on-1, 3-on 1 or whatever, 4-2. But a lot of times these teams are coming back, and they're shooting open threes. And the guys who are supposed to have them aren't resetting back, and it's defensive lapses. I wish somebody would ask him about that, because a lot of times when teams come back, it's really a combination of those two things. It sounds obvious, but it's like the Knicks formula to failure. Like every time teams come back, it's the same thing: lack of perimeter defense, and our offense becomes stupid. You know what I mean? So.
But that goes back to guys like Julius Randle feeling like he got to be the man, and Morris feeling like he is the man, and nobody trusting each other, and suddenly everybody's extra lazy. Like I said in the last time I was on here, we don't do anything at full speed. We don't show that effort. When teams start to run on us, it's like we just get small. We like, yeah, I guess they just gonna beat us. They just faster than us. Everybody starts to slump and we'll start walking around the court. If I catch Kevin Knox hunched over, creeping around the 3-point line one more time, like nobody cuts, nobody sets a real screen or pick. How many times is Julius Randle underneath the hoop getting beat for rebounds because he's just standing there with his hands down?
And the craziest thing is, bro, the Knicks do that stuff as they're coming off of a 15-point lead. So it's like, bro, you were up.
Every time.
Up. So why are you losing confidence? Okay, they scored. They're supposed to score. You weren't going to have a 100-point lead. So, and the thing about is that what I got mad at, not the team we just played, not the Grizzlies. But I remember we were talking about this on one of the end of streams. I think it was a game before the Grizzlies where Julius Randle literally – They stopped. In the second half, they really didn't go back to him. Like, Julius Randle is a guy where he's a cog in the machine, right? He is a guy, hey, look, go to the basket, bull in a china shop, and you do it in certain things, right? You don't want him to over dribble stuff, but when he goes to the basket, that bull in a china shop drives onto somebody from the wing, it's effective. And that game, not the Grizzlies game, I think it was a game before that, he stopped doing it. So, and I think it was the one where Morris was taking like ridiculous turnaround threes and stuff in the fourth quarter. It's like, what the hell are you like? What is this? What is this crap? So it's like this is what I'm talking about. We need leadership on the court. And yes, Mike Miller is our coach, but sometimes that has to come from the players because sometimes the players just, they just don't. The coach could talk as much as you want. If you don't have somebody to really direct, it's tough. But I wish Morris or Randall, somebody could step up because the Knicks should probably. I won't say we should be in 500. But we should have won a lot more games than we've been losing. I mean, Indiana game, the freaking game before the Grizzlies. I can't remember who the hell we played them before the Grizzlies, but these games where we're up.
The Hornets.
The Hornets. Thank you. Yeah. The Nuggets. I mean, the Nuggets was a tough game, but even that game, you saw it when we went ISO, when we tried to play a hero ball with the last 6-7 minutes of the game, and that's where we lost it. It's like, who's there to remind us, like, bro, move the ball around, facilitate, push, get the defenses guessing. Don't allow them to settle and stuff. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, just speaking of the team overall, you heard the chants in the Garden, right? Sell the team. Lord. Sell the team. Sell the team. Right? James Dolan got mad.
As he should.
Kicked out a fan, a teenage fan. James Dolan, listen, I can understand, right? I can understand the frustration, but you got to have thicker skin, man. I mean, I don't know the whole story on why he kicked out the teenager, why he spotlighted just that kid. And it's probably not going to come out. Apparently, James Dolan reached out to the kid's mother. The mother who chose to stay anonymous, she said it's all good.
Yeah, which leads me to believe. It leads me to believe the kid said something out of line. See, it's real easy to point at something when you work in someplace where people are coming in as guests in your establishment. You know what I'm saying? On a lower level, me and my wife, we used to own a Carrabba's franchise out here in Virginia, where I live in Virginia. But anyway, people come in there and, the customer is always right until the customer is wrong. And sometimes the customer got to be excused from the building. And because it's James Dolan and because everything that the Knicks do is high profile and sensationalized, you don't know what I still don't know what the kid did, what he said. He might have said a racial slur. He might have did something vulgar. You never know what it was that caused that kid to get kicked out. Now, if this would have happened in Minnesota, no one would have said nothing. Or a teenage fan gets kicked out of the game, wouldn't even be news. But because it's the Knicks and it's James Dolan directly kicking somebody out, suddenly it's a big deal. If his mom's is willing to be like, yeah, no, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? We could sit here and be like, oh, she might have got a settlement. There's more money in it for her if she kept pressing the issue. Because she could find herself on all kind of TV shows. She could find herself all over the place by stretching out, giving this story some legs.
Maybe, but see, I think it could be that. And first of all, salute to you and your wife for owning a Kroger's. That's crazy. But I think it might be some hush money stuff, man, because it's like, okay, yeah, you might do the tour and all that stuff, but like then you get taken out of school and stuff. So it's like, and James Dolan has a penchant for doing this type of stuff. He does have very thin skin because he's an entitled, babied billionaire who really didn't work for what he got. Let's just be honest. Like the dude is just, one of these trust fund kids who gets a great team and doesn't know. If you really feel insulted, James Dolan, and you feel like I want this to stop, why don't you hire basketball people so you can win instead of hiring PR people? You know what I mean? James Dolan's the type of dude. He's the type of dude that he's like a chick who has like bad acne, and instead of drinking water and changing the diet, they put on just mad makeup to try to hide it. And everybody's looking at like, oh yeah, you pretty, yeah, sure, great. And it's like, oh yeah, but it's like, and the girls just walk. It's like, dude, if you feel like this team, you're tired of the booze and all this stuff, hire basketball people in your front office. Don't worry. Once they do their job, you'll start winning. Remember, you had it with Donnie Walsh and you messed it up. So this is all on you, bro. You're kicking out teenagers, bro. Even and don't get me wrong, a lot of these fans, because no one's ever punched them in their jaw before, no one's ever rocked their jaw or checked their jaws before, they do say slick, disgusting things at some of these games. I understand that 1,000% where you come from, like, but again, James Dolan, and like there was like a guy who took a picture of him and Perry and Milt. Like that's just corny stuff. Like don't harass these dudes when you're at the game.
They look sick,
like a fan. But that stuff. I would actually get you kicked out for that. Like if we're saying, hey, we don't want to take a pic and do stuff like that, I would kick you out for that stuff because you're harassing me. You're being annoying. You're being a troll. But for kids who are cheering and chanting, and you pick the first kid out, is like if that's the case. Like if you're saying some crazy stuff, I understand where you come from. But come on, it's like, dude, man, James Dolan needs to take a look in the mirror and realize I need to stop hiring my friends. I need to stop hiring guys like Steve Mills. I need to dip into the real NBA pool and hire real NBA people and not touch it again because I really feel like the Donnie Walsh thing kind of set him back with the execs and guys of the league. So then he had to go and overpay for an idiot. No, I'm going to say idiot, excuse me. Let me not take it back. For an egotistical person like Phil Jackson, who's probably better off as a coach versus as a GM. You know what I mean? Take a look in the mirror, humble yourself, hire the right people. And the thing about it is that you're lucky that you have fans who are doing that because the worst thing you have are apathetic fans who aren't coming to the games anymore. You don't want that, James Dolan. You still have the Garden, I'm going to say it's not packed, but it's doing decently. It looks like it's doing decently audience-wise for a team that hasn't won in years. So just be happy to have that because if they start getting apathetic and not caring about the Knicks, then you have a real problem, bro. That's
and look, we don't know. We know what the kid did. Maybe he felt that the kid was the one who started the chants. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if they don't say. The only thing that I do know is this: that the mother said, and again, she chose to stay anonymous. She said it's all good. She said Dolan called me Thursday. And she insisted on being anonymous, and we had a pleasant and respectful conversation. It's all good. He was removed from his seat by security. He was detained for about 15 minutes and had his student ID taken away. The mother said they were not physical with him. They were polite. They were kind. So
he got something. He had to have gotten something because you detain any kid if you're a private Western that you paid for. and if you're truly not harassing, like, and you're just chanting, maybe you screamed it loud while he was passing or whatever, you know, I'm pretty sure there's grounds to sue. So Light might be right. I don't know, man. That's crazy. You might have grounds to sue if they doing all that.
Yeah.
So you probably said something crazy. He had to.
Them confiscating his identification make it sound like they was on the verge of wanting to press some charges on this kid for something.
Yeah.
Something, right.
What?
Right.
Oh,
he had to have said something or did something.
Yep.
Said something or did something.
And that's why the moms didn't want to say nothing about it, because I think she understands that they dodged the bullet.
She don't want that smoke. But these kids, these little kids nowadays, man, they have, again, no one rocked their jaws, man. Like no one, they don't fear anything, man. They do this, and it's like, bro, I so-called back in my day or whatever, man. If you say something to another man, you got to be prepared to fight him, and like that just permeates. Even if it's whoever it is, even if it's the nerdiest this or that, it's like you got to be prepared to fight him, bro. Like I'll see James Dolan, and I might. You know, I don't think James Dolan's a good owner. I mean, but I would never say wild things like that. But I give him his space, whatever. He's still a man. Whether I don't like him or not, he's still a man. I gotta respect him as a man. So these kids, man, and you're a teenager, and you do that because you know you respect it. Because, I mean, James Dolan doesn't like a fighter, but it's like some of the stuff these people say to guys or men. If you saw him in the street, you wouldn't be saying that, man. Like, guys are crazy, man.
Yeah, that's the crowd right there. Screaming, sell the team.
Which would solve jack squat. They need to quit that. You sell it to who?
Oh, you saying that no one will buy it?
I'm not saying no one will buy it. I'm not saying nobody will buy it.
Oh, just the yelling, the chant.
Yeah, like you chant and sell the team. He's not gonna sell the team, so kill that. It's as bad as arguing with the refs.
Yeah, and it's not what Madison Square Garden is not even that. It's not even as easy to sell the team because it's not like it's just owned by one person or a group. You know, it's a whole corporation. So but nah.
Yeah, because Sim owns like 20% of it, so you gotta.
Yeah, okay.
He owns as much as Jay owned of the Nets, right?
I own way less than Jay owned in the Nets. Trust me.
Sim owns more than Jay.
I know how much Sim owns. I looked it up.
Jay-Z owned enough to do concert. Like oh my gosh. When I heard how much he owned, man, Lord Jesus, that was an embarrassing moment in
It made it sound like that man bought half the team.
Oh my
you know
gosh,
what I'm saying?
yo, bro, like
right.
He bought like two shares, and they was like, "Yeah, man, Jay-Z part owner, yeah, okay."
Right.
I'm like 2 shares and 5 pearls. Like they didn't even get this dude
courtside seats.
Yeah.
Now the one thing they do say is, you know, with Madison Square Garden is that they are like non-disclosure agreement happy.
Oh yeah, because they did it with Fizz though, right? They told Fizz he can't talk, right?
Yeah.
So basically, you know, they say, I'm reading something right here from the Daily News. It says Madison Square Garden is drowning in non-disclosure agreements. Right? Basically, it represents failure without accountability. It buys silence from the likes of Phil Jackson, Jeff Hornacek, Derek Fisher, and David Fizdale. All those guys were made to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
That sounds like standard practice, though.
It probably is standard practice.
But again, when it's the Knicks, it's news. And when it's the Knicks, you got to tell that. Everybody who goes and works in one of these organizations, I guarantee, has to sign a non-disclosure and a no-compete clause.
I bet you they
do. Because they're privy to internal secrets and things that are inner workings of these organizations. And then the other people that they're working for are your direct competitors. So, yeah, I'm sure he can't even work for another team for a number of years. He can't say nothing about, like, that's not drowning in, come on, man. They love to just defecate on our name.
Guess who wrote that? Dan Isola?
Nah, Stephen Bondi.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a good point. It's like you don't hear many coaches go on TV, ESPN, and, like, just shatter their former teams. They're usually diplomatic about it and whatnot. Yeah. It's like, they can't really.
They write books after they quit.
Oh, right. They write books after, but that book don't come out.
10 years later.
Yeah, right. It doesn't come out the year of like them getting fired. So yeah,
No,
like you
right.
said, it's like the Knicks. It's funny, man. The Knicks get like so much vitriol. But Light made a good point. There's so many teams in the NBA who have terrible, terrible records, and who are doing worse than the Knicks. Dude, you had the Kings. I remember a few years ago where the GM wanted to play 4-on-5, and the owner, excuse me, and he was telling them, teaching them how to cherry pick. And this dude who looks like he's never played a game of a competitive basketball in his life. And it's like stuff like that. I don't hear that getting as much noise. And then they had someone on ESPN that was like, not if this is the end, but is this the lowest point for the Knicks this season because of the fight? And I'm like, dude, there's been fights all throughout the league, bro. Like the Knicks aren't the only people that fight, dude. Like, are you kidding me? But when Mike Miller was doing good, nothing. When Mike Miller was winning his little games, whatever, no one said nothing. Mike Miller had these guys playing different. No one was saying nothing, except for maybe here, like what's his guy's name? Not Paul Pierce. Damn, I can't remember the damn player. But I remember somebody mentioned like, oh yeah, they're like were we like 4-6 or something like that at one point with Mike Miller? It's like, yeah, well, I mean, it's something. It's like, but they don't highlight that stuff. So the Knicks, until I'm telling you, until Dolan sells, man, he has to sell to one of these woke liberals, one of these woke, I'm for the people, Steve Ballmer types who, act like they're for people and don't hire, guys like Mark Jackson. Excuse me. But anyway, they have to hire one of these, fake woke guys. Until then, Dolan, he's not going to get foul calls. He's going to get bad press, and it's up to him. Like, and the thing that gets mad about Dolan, I want Dolan to be the villain that everybody hates, but in a good way for us, where we're winning as Knicks fans and we're winning as a team, but he's doing it his own way. He's not buying into like the NBA this and NBA that and all these little agendas, whatever. He's doing it his way, but it's like, dude, you need advisors, bro. You can't do this by yourself, man. Like, he's so dumb. Why is he so dumb? Like, why are billionaires like him, man, so like close-minded, man? Like,
yeah. I don't know.
Come on, bro.
But hey, man, fellas, I'm about to get out of here. I've had a pretty long day. Been up early, had a meeting all day. Then I had to come home and coach a basketball game. We won, by the way, our 6th straight.
Congrats.
We're working.
Congrats.
Somebody's winning. All right. You need to start filming them joints and posting those too, so we could watch some winners, man.
Yeah, for real. But so I'm gonna get me some rest so I can get up tomorrow.
I hear that, man.
Watch the game and all of that, man. I appreciate you guys, man. All right. Have yourselves a good weekend, man. Have a good weekend, Light.
You too, man. You too, man.
No doubt.
All right. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for being here with me. That's it for tonight. Knicks news, rumors, and updates. We had a ton of them. And we had a ton of them for sure. I'll be on tomorrow night as I do the post game. The Knicks play tomorrow night, so I'll be on tomorrow night after the game. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. All right. Remember, Monday during the afternoon, I'll be doing Knicks Weekly exclusively on Sportscaster. Make sure you join me there. And also, Sunday, you guys probably haven't heard of it, but you can check it out right now. It's called the TBL, and it's on Sportscaster. Hashtag TBL on Sportscaster. All right? Well, you can just go watch some live basketball games. Now, these would be players that you're not familiar with. And that's cool, right? But you'll learn to get used to it. All right, go check it out. There's some games on. Well, I don't know if there's some replays of games on. But on Sunday at 2 o'clock, I'll be on Sportscaster. And I'll be commentating and covering the Albany Patroons. All right, so make sure you check me out Sunday at 2 p.m. on Sportscaster. I will send out a notification to remind you. All right, just so you can check it out and watch some basketball, ladies and gentlemen. All right, look, I'm out of here. I appreciate you guys for being here with me. Get your weekend started, man. Enjoy yourself this weekend. Obviously, enjoy the Super Bowl. I'll probably see you before then. Well, I will see you before then. All right, I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
That's the G.